weight gain is not always a result of eating too much. In fact, a lot of times it's really not. A lot of times it has a lot to do with your hormones. And you may have thought to yourself, yes, exactly, like I haven't changed anything about what I'm doing exercise or what I'm doing eating wise, and I'm gaining weight. Why is that? So I'd like you to think of your body as having kind of a natural thermostat. So maybe your set point is 160 pounds. That's where your body feels good. It's used to what you're eating, what you're outputting. That's your thermostat. Now, hormones can actually change your set point. And here's how it works. So there's a couple hormones that can do this, but I want to talk first about insulin. So insulin, what it does. After we eat, especially when we eat carbohydrates and some proteins, our body produces insulin. That's a good thing. We like insulin. It tells our body to go ahead, use that food, store it or use it. Then the insulin levels come back down and we go on with our day. And we have these natural ebbs and flows of insulin throughout the day, and that's normal. But what happens is that over a long time, I'm talking many years, if you just start producing a little bit more insulin, you can cause your thermostat to reset to a higher weight. Now, I want you to think of this as kind of like an analogy, like maybe when you had your first experience with alcohol. Probably had one drink and you were like a little tipsy and you're like, whoa, okay. And then maybe you recovered well, that was fine. And then the next day, again, still just one drink, you still got, a little tipsy, you're like, whoa, what is this? But now, years later, you might need to have 3 drinks to get that same feeling. You've kind of reset, you've developed that resistance to alcohol and what it was doing to your brain initially when you had your first drink. Insulin's kind of the same. Again, this happens over a long period of time. That over time, just by releasing a little bit more insulin, you've developed that resistance to it. The resistance tells you, just like the drink tells you, oh, I'm not there yet, I need another one. We then tend to produce more insulin, and higher levels of sustained insulin cause weight gain. So that's why, again, just like the alcohol, it happens over a long period of time, and it's not necessarily by something you are doing specifically knowing what you're doing. And that's also why it's oftentimes easier for people that gain weight very quickly. Say they gain in 2 months, they gain 6 pounds. It's much easier to lose that. So quick weight gain is often easier to lose because the weight gain is not necessarily causing that insulin resistance yet. Versus someone who has gained 1 or 2 pounds every year for 10 years, oftentimes it's super hard to, all of a sudden I was 160, now I'm 180, and I can't get back down to that 160. My body does not want to go past that 180 mark, for example. It's because this insulin resistance has caused your body to decide on a new, higher set point, all right? So, like I said, it's not always what you eat. Sometimes, yes, if we eat, especially carbs, if we're overeating carbs, I'm saying you don't have to cut carbs out, but if you're overeating them, it will cause more insulin to be released, which causes resistance, which causes the body to produce more, and you get that weight gain associated with a high carb diet. But a lot of times it's not what you eat. And protein, sometimes will cause insulin levels to increase too, and that's a normal thing. We want insulin, but we don't want it super high consistently over time. There are other hormones, though, that are linked to this that can also cause your body to decide on a higher set point that have nothing to do with food. And one of those is cortisol. Cortisol is also termed sometimes as the stress hormone. So when you're in stressful situations, your cortisol will spike. Now, again, a normal physiological process, okay? So when we have a little bit of stress, our cortisol increases, we want that, but we want it to be able to go back down. But what happens when we are chronically stressed, meaning just like stressed all the time or very little moments of de-stressing, right? That can also increase levels of cortisol, increase levels of insulin. And that's the mechanism by which we sometimes see weight gain that's irrelevant of food, of what you're eating. So stress, stress does not necessarily mean something super stressful like I just got in a car wreck and my dog died yesterday, my grandma's in the hospital, my kids are in 8 sports, and I work 80 hours a week. Yes, that is very stressful, and that most likely will cause weight gain. But stress can be a lot of different things. Yes, if you are feeling stressed, you're under stress. But maybe also think about exercise as a stress. Exercise will increase those cortisol levels, and it's our job to recover properly and bring them back down. But if you are exercising too much, too hard, and not ever bringing those levels down because the rest of your life is stressful, that can cause weight gain through that insulin mechanism. You can also think of, we have this feeling now that de-stressing is a Netflix binge. It's like, I'm going to take my Sunday and I'm going to lay on the couch for 5 hours and I'm going to watch The Crown or Tiger King or something for 5 hours. That's my de-stressor. But actually, TV, that blue light, a lot of literature is coming out about blue light and what it's doing. It will raise the cortisol levels, and that puts you into that chronically stressed state. So if you work at a job where you look at a computer all day, and then in your breaks you're looking at your phone, and then on your days off you're watching TV, you are putting your body into that chronically stressed state, which is going to have high levels of cortisol and then can cause weight gain. And it does that, again, by resetting your thermostat. It causes that insulin to kind of be like, actually, I think I need to be up here. You may even be eating less, but gaining weight. The other thing that has to do with cortisol is sleep. Sleep is so important. We know this, but just imagine if you're working a computer job, you're de-stressing with television. After all of this, you're still trying to get in an hour workout every day, and then you're sleeping 4 hours a night. Your body is not in a state in which it's wanting to lose weight. In fact, it's slowly, over time, you do this for 10 years, it's going to keep upping that thermostat because of that insulin resistance. So it's a lot of things, but it's not always about what you eat. Now, but what you eat paired with some good, healthy de-stressing and managing sleep, managing your routines, can help bring that weight down. We can reset our thermostat. It takes some ideas though. So each of these, I would love to just tell you that there's a quick fix, this is the diet you should go on, this is what you eat, but realistically we need to be eating a whole foods diet. That means 0 processed foods or as little as you can. That's going to help remove, there are not very many processed carbohydrates that come from the ground. And if you find them, like rice, you can have a little rice. But if it comes from some sort of highly processed package, it's probably not a good idea. We can also limit our screen time past 6 p.m. So it's okay, like we live and work in a world where we need electronics. So it's not going to be possible to just not stare at a computer all day. But past 6 p.m. when we're in our wind down phase, the more you can limit that blue light, and especially not sleeping with the TV on in your bedroom and not falling asleep that way, is going to help you greatly in many aspects of your life, but especially in maintaining that thermostat. Then, to help normalize those cortisol levels, those sleep-wake hormones, all of those, get outside first thing in the morning. Even if it's for a 5-minute walk, get outside. That's going to help normalize your hormones. Prioritize sleep. And some people can actually benefit from fasting, but fasting is definitely something you don't want to just do alone and not do any research. So definitely do your research, reach out to a coach, and see if that might be something that's right for you. Now, if you want to take a look at a more unique, you want to take a look at your unique situation, because not everyone's going to solve their issues the same way, because everyone's situation is unique. So if you'd like to hop on a call and just see, maybe there's something in this. I feel like, yes, I've been doing this. Like, I haven't changed my exercise. I haven't changed my eating habits yet. I'm gaining weight. There are ways we can fix it. Go ahead and click the link below that's going to bring you to a Clarity Call booking link. This is going to be a quick call. We're going to hop on the phone and just see, is some coaching right for you? Do I think that we can help you bring back down your thermostat to where you feel comfortable, confident, and happy?